Welcome to So Practical, So Fun, where we're learning how to set up and use the Singer M1000, aka the Cutie Patootie. This machine is so small, less than a foot tall, and it's really lightweight. It's designed for small mending projects, but I think it's also a great starter machine if you're wanting to learn how to sew. I'll be showing some fun starter projects that you can do on this machine a bit later. It comes in a few different options. And it comes with an instruction booklet, a power cable, this cute little foot pedal, and some extra accessories. It also comes with an extra general purpose needle and a ballpoint needle for use with knit fabrics. This is the reverse lever, the stitch selector dial, the tension dial, the hand wheel. Here is the presser foot lever, a handy thread cutter off to the side, and the drop-in bobbin area. The foot pedal plugs in here, and the power cord plugs in here. This machine does not have an on-off button. Instead, when you plug it in, you will see the light turn on and it's ready to sew. Now let's get the machine set up for sewing. The first step is to wind the bobbin. If I turn the machine around the back, you can see better the spool pin. It's tucked in. Just pull it out and then put the thread on it. There's actually two ways to wind the bobbin. The first way is to bring the thread under this metal edge and then up through this notch in the center. Then you're going to floss it under this tension disc. Now bring the thread from the center of the bobbin up through this hole. Push the bobbin onto the post, make sure it's all the way down as far as it can go. Then push it all the way to the left until it clicks into place. This is very important. The needle for this machine will move while you wind the bobbin, so make sure there's nothing in the way of the needle, including your fingers, while you're winding the bobbin. Now, while holding the thread up and out, use the foot pedal to start winding. Wind it for a few seconds, then cut the thread as close to the bobbin as possible on the top. You can wind as much thread as you need onto the bobbin. You don't have to wind it all the way full if you're just doing a small mending project. When you're done winding it, push it back to the left, remove the bobbin, and cut the thread. For the best sewing experience, the thread on the bobbin needs to be wound so that it's tight and even like this. If you notice that the thread on the bobbin looks too loose, use the second method of winding. Instead of bringing the thread up through this notch, bring it straight from the spool from the right to the left in front of this tension disc, then flossing it under the tension disc, make a U-turn counterclockwise and bring it back over to the right. Then you can wind it the same way as the first way. The bobbin cover has a printed guide as a reminder to show how the bobbin should be loaded. When holding the bobbin, the thread should come off the top, and pulling the thread should make the bobbin spin counterclockwise. If you hold the bobbin incorrectly, the thread comes off the bottom. So holding it correctly, drop the bobbin into the case and then bring the thread towards you. Keep your finger on the bobbin to hold it in place and guide the thread over to the right just a little bit and then slide it to the left. It should catch under this metal groove here. Next, continue guiding the thread to the left and away from you. Now you can put the bobbin cover back on. Now let's thread the upper thread. The most important step is to first make sure the presser foot is up. The thread should come straight off the spool to this first point here. Guide the thread under the right side of this metal thread guide and then bring it up through the notch in the center. Now bring it straight down this groove. Guide it around the tension dial and then back up the right side of this groove. Now thread it through the hole of the take-up lever from right to left. And now you can guide it back down that same groove on the left side. The last thread point is very important and it's often missed. It's right above the needle. It's called the needle bar. Guide it from right to left under that tiny metal bar there. And now you can thread the needle. If you want to use a needle loop, bring it from the back to the front, then put the thread into the loop and draw it backwards again. You'll need to draw up the bobbin thread before you start sewing. To do that, with your left hand, hold the upper thread up and out, making sure it's not under the presser foot. With your right hand, turn the hand wheel towards you until the needle goes all the way down and then all the way back up. Give the thread a gentle tug and the bobbin thread will pop up. Now you can pull both threads and tuck them under the presser foot. You'll want to start with a minimum of 3 inches of extra thread coming off to the left before you start sewing. Unlike other sewing machines, the foot pedal does not control the speed of sewing. This machine only has one speed, so I do suggest practicing with a scrap piece of fabric to get the feel of the sewing speed. Choose the stitch you want to use by turning this dial. Whichever stitch is at the top center is the one the machine will stitch. There are 6 different straight stitch options. Option A and F put the needle to the left and to the right. And then B, C, D, and E keep the needle in the center. You can also see that the dashes are longer and shorter as you choose a different stitch option. These options change the stitch length. Stitches G, H, and I are your zigzag stitches. G is a tight stitch with a narrow zigzag. H makes the stitch a little wider and a little longer. And I is the longest stitch with the widest zigzag. J is a blind stitch option, and K is a multi-stitch zigzag, which you can use for overcasting fabric. To change the needle, make sure that the needle is in the up position and lower the presser foot. Unscrew this tab counterclockwise. If it's too tight, it has a notch here on the end that you can use the included tool to loosen it. There's a flat edge at the top of the needle, which needs to be towards the back when you insert it. Dip the needle down into the throat plate and then bring the top of it up into the hole here. Spin the needle until that flat part is at the back and slide the needle all the way up as far as it'll go. While holding the needle tight, screw it in as tight as you can. The tension dial can be adjusted for different fabrics. The lighter the fabric, the lower the number on the tension dial. You'll also want a very low number if you're doing a gather or basting stitch. Otherwise, it should be in the middle range here, 3, 4, or 5. To change the presser foot, make sure that the foot is in the up position and push this lever on the back. The foot will drop away. To add any other foot, line up this bar on the foot with this groove here. Then drop it down using this lever and the foot will snap into place. This machine can handle any low shank style foot. I would suggest purchasing a few standard feet to have on hand in the future. A zipper foot and a buttonhole foot are always good to have in your sewing kit. Thanks so much for sewing with me today. If this video helped you get this machine set up, please hit that like button. If you have any questions, please comment below and I'll answer them right away. And be sure to subscribe for fun videos coming soon of easy beginner sewing projects that you can do with this machine. Happy sewing!